Wedgie update. I know it's been a long time since we've done anything with that, and it's just been sitting out back. We harvested the big block out of it for another project. That poor thing has just been sitting there waiting. Well, here we go. Way back, we bought an 07 Sierra Classic LBZ Duramax truck, and we got the motor out of it. It needed everything, so heads have been reworked, new turbo, new injectors, CP3 pump, everything. Anyway, this thing's all done. We got it all powder coated. Jeff got it reassembled. All new parts, should be ready to go. This thing's gonna rip. We already got a harness with a tune in it and everything for towing. So yeah, should be awesome. So the plan is to drop this big old thing in the Wedgie. We're gonna do some fitting, make some motor plates. We already have an Allison 6-speed auto for it. Yeah, Devin is going to town right now, power washing it, getting it cleaned up. Let's go check it out. Hey guys.
Oh, hey.
Just in time.
We're doing some work on Wedgie, Eric.
Finally, the priorities are in place.
Yeah.
So poor old Wedgie's been sitting out here getting dusty, and you know, we've been busy this year. Not complaining, but all of a sudden we got a wild hair to get that motor stuffed in here. So Jeff has the motor all put together, and Devin's getting her all cleaned up. She was greasy, so yeah. Originally we had a lot of plans to like do this, blow this whole thing apart. We've kind of condensed down to getting it running. This thing here is gonna rip. Jeff knows the combo. Does this Hydro Boost need to come out? No. Can't believe you got it as clean as you did on there. This thing was caked in here. Apparently that big block was sweating for a while, many years. So anyway,
yeah,
it's gonna be awesome. Stay tuned. We'll get the Duramax in here shortly.
Hey guys, Jeff, Retro Rides. Working on Wedgie today. Doing things and stuff. We're gonna set the motor in today here. As soon as Devin's done clearance in the firewall there, we've got the plates on the engine, and then we've got the C's to set on the motor mounts there, and then we're gonna set it in. We're gonna put our placement as close to the back as we can. That way we know that we have enough room, but it's very common on these. GM has a big old fat pinch weld on the bottom of the firewall, and on the Duramax they have the up pipes, and they get really close. So the way I've done these in the past is I'll clearance that down, get a lot more room. We'll be able to set the motor back. We'll have the right amount of space between the radiator and the fan. Duramax has a massive fan on it. And on this one, we're gonna use a top kick fan, which is kind of cool because it doesn't have blades that stick way up. They have a surround around them, so it'll actually fit inside the factory shroud. So it's kind of cool, seamless, clean, like we like to do. And then, yeah. So we'll put it in there, mock it up, pull it out, get all our motor mounts finished up, and then we'll set it back in with the transmission on the motor, hopefully for the last time. So once Devin's done there, we'll set it in there and see how it looks. Right, Devin?
Yipper.
So here's our Duramax, and then here's the factory motor mount for the square body Chevy. Cut out the little recessed thing. Dane made these plates which have recessed bolts in them, so hypothetically, once we figure out where we want the motor to sit, we'll mark it and then drill it and tap it for these to bolt directly to that plate. Similar to an LS, but the Duramax is a little bit different in that respect with the hole placement. One of the holes is like a 1/2 inch off, so not much, but for what we're doing, we want the motor to be down as low as we can, and then also back as far as we can. So we have one, proper fitment for the fan in the front, and then two, enough clearance for the Allison. It's a remarkably tall transmission, but our truck was a 4-speed, so they actually had a factory hump that's higher than your 2-wheel drive automatic. So it'll be good, but yeah, so these will go on there like that, and wherever they end up, we'll mark them, drill them, put them back on. Well, we'll paint them and then put them back on. Hopefully by the end of today, we'll have that thing back in there. So. we just got done putting the motor in, and it fits good. It's close. First time for me on a two-wheel drive. This one, with it set down on the plates that we made with the new motor mounts, we went with an energy polyurethane insert in the motor mount. That way, if anything time down the road, you can buy anything. They're easy to get. They're not some custom motor mount. A lot of people make this fancy motor mount, those polyurethane. If you got a problem with it, you got to order them. These things, darn near everybody's got them. So I like to do that in case you have some sort of wear component, whatever. But so we put it in there, had the plates on it, set the motor down in. It really looked good, nice tight like we like. And then it's just a little too close to the the center link right here. So it was the oil pan, the front sump of the front part of the oil pan has a little bit of a dip in it. And rather than modifying the pan, we're just going to build a slight spacer, which is what Dane's doing right now. It'll basically space this up a little bit. And then what we'll do after that is we'll put the clamshell over that to give us the little bit that we need to get it off that tie rod and that cross member. So once that's all done, we have everything ready to bolt back in again. We'll put the transmission in it. Devin's working on getting the cross member out of it and the drive line. So we're gaining on it. We're getting there. So two-wheel drives are a little different. There's a little bit of a compromise as far as room goes under the motor. And the other thing we're worried about is later down the road, we're talking about running air on this thing. So we want to make sure that the oil pan is not hanging below the cross member. That'd be a bad thing, especially when we air it out. So, which it doesn't right now. So we'll have enough room. It'll be good. And yeah, we're getting there. We're closing. It's getting there. It's fun stuff. Stay tuned. Dane got all the new motor mounts. We kind of went a different route with the two-wheel drive cross member. We had to move some stuff around. So Dane built motor mounts for it to go on our factory polyurethane engine mount there. So we got those all done. Right now I just put the billet converter in the Allison and Dane is cleaning it up so it doesn't look all crummy under there. But outside of that, once he's done with that, we're going to marry it to the motor and set it back in so we can build the transmission cross member for it. So things are moving along nicely. The motor's been in and out like 2-3 times kind of thing, just to ensure that it's got the right fit. We're close enough to the firewall. It's down far enough. So we're getting there though, little by little. So, but the motor looks awesome. It's got new injectors, new CP3, new turbo, new head studs, new head gaskets, water pump. It's got a super dampener on it, and then we did away with the driver's side manifold that had the little lump in it right here for the steering column, so it helps them flow a little better as far as that goes. And then we welded up the EGR hole on the back exhaust, and then we had them ceramic coated, so it should look pretty good in there. All nice and clean, kind of got Eric's colors, the black and the tan, so once the hood's open, it'll look all nice and pretty in there, but it'll sound even better.
Back on Wedgie, more update stuff. So we're going from a 4-speed manual transmission to the massive Allison 6-speed automatic. So we pulled up the seat, carpet, all that stuff. The floors are actually better than we thought, which is kind of nice. The plans for the cab, we're not really sure yet. There's a lot of rust repair in it, rockers, normal stuff. Little things, fixable things, but that's for another day. Anywho, we got the trans tunnel out. It's getting blasted. We're gonna weld up the hole that was in it for the 4-speed, and then that'll get epoxy primed. So Matt's working on that right now. Also, because we're putting a later drivetrain in it, we converted it to this is an 83, by the way. We're converting it to like a 91 style electronic speedo. So same gauge layout and all that business, but going electronic now, super fancy. And also we're gonna put a tilt column in it with the automatic shifter. So factory stuff is going back in it. To most people, it won't even look any different than normal. So fresh carpet, seal up that tunnel, and start buttoning it together. We'll do some like upgrades on the interior later. As soon as Max gets back, Max better get back. So anyway, we'll keep chipping away. Stay tuned for the next update.